Hello friends, welcome again to another episode of Middle-Aged Mind and Muscle. So, kind of a test run here. We're stepping up the production a little bit. We're going from the iPhone up to a much better camera. So I'm just working on some of the editing, shading. So here we did a hamstring day and hip day. And as you guys know, in your 50s, this is really important stuff to keep your hips really, really strong. For a lot of people, they find the hips start to be the first thing that they go. The first thing that starts to go with age. The Bosu ball is a very, very important part of our training. It helps with all the stabilizer muscles. So I'm doing a kind of a version of stiff-legged deadlifts here. And I'm doing it on the Bosu ball to kick in the stabilizer muscles. Okay. Now, with the Bosu ball, you have to keep your feet out a little bit, not close together. So I'm letting the dumbbells hang in between my legs. But it's very important that I keep the stress on the glutes and the hamstrings. So like anything else, I start light and just keep warming up. Again, heavier dumbbells. There we go. A bit more of a workout here with the Bosu ball. I would really suggest anyone who's not used to using a Bosu ball, take some time to get used to it. Practice standing on the Bosu ball. See if you can stand on it for a minute or two to get your balance. Try and do some basic squatting, a few basic exercises on it, but it does take a little bit, not too long, but it takes a little bit to get to, but man, is it great. I used to laugh at people that used to use them. I used to think they were weird, but I know a lot better now. So anyway, I'm slowly moving heavier here with the dumbbells. Again, trying to keep, it's a little tricky. You're using a wider stance to keep your balance. Almost fell there. My face said it all. But it's good stabilizer work, and I'm getting a good burn. Lower back, glutes, and hamstrings here. So now we're going a little heavier again. And here we go. So the Bosu ball is a real staple in our training now. Again, I couldn't have imagined myself using one of these things even like 5 years ago. But I remember months ago, the first time I went on the Bosu ball, I think the goal was to just see if you could stand on it for a minute without falling off. It was really weird, but you get used to it, and it's great for stabilizers, as I said. And, of course, keeping the hips very, very strong. Again, this is more hamstring work, better glute work. Getting a good workout here. For a lot of people, when they get a tight lower back or their lower back seizes up, a lot of it has to do with hip issues, not actual back issues. A lot of people don't know that. So here I am, again, it's dark. Got to play with the ISO and the camera a little bit here, but hamstring curls. Yeah, that's a little dark, eh? Hamstring curls on this one. Nothing too exciting. I think I just put in one clip of me doing these, but I do a bunch of sets of this. Again, starting light and working my way up. That's a very dark room, by the way. I'm sure you can tell. I just want to take a second and thank all you guys for subscribing and commenting. It means a lot. For an old bastard like myself at 50, in this YouTube race here, well, technically YouTube isn't a race, it's a marathon, but I'm hoping that my videos are helping some of you guys out there. Maybe some of the old guys out there with lifting in their blood, getting them back into the gym, or someone maybe, again, obesity, food addiction. I want to help people who have problems with that. You got to get moving. You got to get into the gym. You got to get working. You got to take responsibility for your life and for your eating. I truly feel that for most people, the big problem is shame and feeling sorry for yourself, and you can't do that. For all you guys out there wanting that big deadlift, when you saw me when I used to deadlift frickin' dump truck, one of the secrets was I used to be quad dominant, but then I had to be hamstring dominant, so I had to get my hamstrings really, really strong, my whole posterior chain, but I've been having a lot of problems. I think it might be because of a lot of the cardio I'm doing, a lot of walking up hills and stuff. My hamstrings, especially my left one, it's really, you guys know I had that hamstring tweak. But stepping up the production, using better cameras now today. Some days, you're dragging ass a little bit. Today I'm feeling that a little bit. Thank God for caffeine. Thank God for caffeine. I gotta tell you guys, it's not that I ever want to be a negative Nelly, but fuck, it is fucking different when you're 50. Even from a few years ago. The stories I can tell you about when I try and get myself back in shape, the fat and the weight would come off quicker. But I definitely think physically, although I'm not where I want to look yet, I think physically I'm in the best shape I have been in quite some time. Health-wise too, like my heart, my cardio, probably in years. Like when I was really massive and really strong, doesn't mean that I was healthy. So part of what we want now is we want to, you know, have some strength. We want to have some strength. But I want to be functional. I want to be mobile. You know, when you bend over to tie your shoes, even when you're massive and you have a lot of muscle mass, it doesn't feel good. You're on the ground trying to stretch and you got to roll around, do all this weird shit to get up. It's not fun, man. So that's not where we're going in our 50s. Maybe I want to be more like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You remember him in Bloodsport? Now, Johnny, just stay out of this. Anyway, just kidding. Yeah. Okay, so again, I know we got a bit of a darker room here, but the banded walks, often you can, just a simple variation on them, instead of putting them around your ankles, put them around your lower knees, under your knees. It'll hit all the hip muscles and the glute muscles in that whole area in a very different way. So here I'm going to disappear out of camera, which is probably a good thing for many people out there who are watching, and I come back in. So I'm doing my spider walks, but again, I have the band around my knees, not down around my ankles. Forward walks, sometimes I'll do forward kicks, okay? And I'm off the camera again, and then I'm going to come back on the camera while doing backward walks, okay? This is different too. This is going to hit your legs in a weird way that you're not used to. Walking backwards, it's actually an underrated exercise. More walks. I do a bunch of sets of these. Spider walks again. So important to keep your hips really, really strong. It's kind of like your lower back muscles. I find when I got out of heavy training or I just wasn't going to the gym anymore or very often, they're the first muscles to go. They go away really quickly. Okay, reverse walks on the treadmill. Okay, I don't want to fall, so I'm holding on lightly just to help keep my balance. I haven't done these in a long time, so I want to be careful. I don't want to tear a hamstring. The geriatric treadmill motion here. But try this sometime. Walk backwards on the treadmill. After a while, you're going to get a really good burn. Friends, Brian here from Middle Age Mind and Muscle, and I want to talk about testosterone, what it's like in Canada as opposed to possibly the United States. I know all my American friends out there can comment below and let us know what it's like in the States. So, of course, in the fitness and lifting industry, a lot of people really get obsessed with who's taking what. It's all about drugs, what you can take, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I've been open and honest, I think, when you're in your I just turned 50 a few months ago. So I don't think taking blasting gear is good and healthy in your 50s. I think when you're younger, your body's newer, your organs are more fresh. When you start getting into your 40s and your 50s, your body's taking a lot of wear and tear. But I do believe in testosterone optimization, meaning I think that most men over 40 should get their testosterone looked at. How should guys know if they need their testosterone looked at? Well, you wake up, you don't feel rested. You have no sex drive. Of course, a lot of guys like to lie with that and say, no, I'm fine that way. No, you're not. Stop with the bullshit. You don't wake up with morning wood anymore. You don't have that zest for life. You don't have that I'm going to go out and conquer today attitude. You might be prone to depression issues. This is where it gets a little tricky. In Canada, for doctors, now I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do tell people testosterone is pretty cheap. Big Pharma is not going to make a lot of money by selling testosterone. Go to your doctor. Ask for a test. If he starts getting weird and dodgy, always ask to see the numbers in your blood work. You also want to get him to check not just your total testosterone, which most of them do, because that doesn't mean anything. If you have a high total testosterone, the doctor say, oh, you're high or you're average, you're fine. Okay, but then you have something called your free testosterone. There's something that binds to your testosterone called sex hormone binding globulin. So if you have a lot of that bonding to your testosterone, well, how much do you have left that's available to actually do its thing? That is called your free testosterone. So if you get your testosterone checked, make sure you say to your doctor, I want my free and total testosterone checked. He will probably be difficult with you or probably say, oh, what's the big deal? Let's just check your total. No. Be pushy. Be a prick. Ask to see the numbers. Never let the doctor say, oh, I checked your testosterone, you're fine. Ask to see the numbers. Even better, get a printout of them so you have a hard copy of it. Now, I don't know what it's like for you guys down in the States. I'm assuming that you could probably go to a private clinic if you can afford it or if you have insurance coverage. And you'll probably get the best of the best with the treatments or best of the best with the doctors. In Canada, doctors go from being very good to really stupid and ignorant. So like my partner, who's my age, she went through a bit of a time last year and it looked like she might have been premenopausal. So I said to her, hey, go to your family doctor, ask for a hormonal blood panel. Okay, get your testosterone checked, get your estradiol checked, your estrogen, get your progesterone checked. He told her, he said, well, you know, testosterone is really, it's a myth. It doesn't really affect anything. We're not even going to test you for it. And even if you're low, I'm not going to prescribe it to you anyway. No shit, Sherlock, because, hey, what do you get out of prescribing testosterone? Look at a lot of men with depression issues. They don't feel the way they used to. Is the doctor going to prescribe them testosterone, or are they going to try and get them on erectile drugs, statin drugs, antidepressants? What more can they get kickbacks with? Huh? We got to wake up, people. There's a lot of bullshit going on out there. Part of the reason I started this channel. Now, again, being on testosterone replacement, it's great. You're just putting in what you should have in your body, what you should optimally have in your body. But for a lot of reasons, men have declining testosterone. A lot of it has to do with all the pollutants in our food, in the air, and in the water that mimic estrogen, called xenoestrogens. I made a video the other day about the estrogen trap for men. As they age and they get more fat on their body has something called aromatase. It's an enzyme, and the more fat you have, the more aromatase you have, and it converts your testosterone to estrogen, my friends. Not good. Your testosterone, you want to get it checked. Before I relocated to where I live now, I had a really good family doctor. I was always open and honest with him. Even when I was in my heavy training, I would tell him, I'm taking this, whatever. He didn't judge me. He didn't anything. He had an understanding, and he was open-minded, and he just wanted to see me be in good health. But there's a lot of ignorant doctors out there, and there's a lot of lazy doctors, and there's a lot of doctors like, you know, I think sometimes general practitioners are so far behind the learning curve with things that have to do with hormones, bodybuilding, that type of stuff. It's kind of a very frustrating situation. But men, it's very important out there to get your testosterone levels checked. Hell, for a lot of women as they age too, you might want to get it checked as well. Once that faucet starts to slow down, you're not really going to get it back. That's another thing people have to wake up and realize. Testosterone boosters. Having kind of been around the industry, yeah, they might do a little bit of something if you're in your 30s, but if you're getting into your 40s and you really do have low testosterone, they're not going to do much. You know, I would probably encourage someone, maybe instead of doing the testosterone booster, taking that money and seeing your doctor and seeing about a prescription you might be able to get. Only my opinion. But I want to know from all my American friends out there who are over 40, what's it like trying to get a legit prescription for testosterone, meaning you've had the blood work and you're showing physical need for it. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, but it's very important. I hear so much bullshit out there about testosterone and this and that and this and that. It's like, well, some people say, oh, testosterone will kill you. Yeah? Really, eh? So, okay. But having low testosterone will probably kill you quicker. Anyway, I could go on and on about this, but get your testosterone levels checked, ask for your total and your free testosterone, and don't take any shit from your doctor. Be pushy, be a prick, and also say, hey, I would like to see the blood work myself, please. It's your health, folks. It's your health. This is my therapy.